Hi, I'm Colby Cedar Smith, and I'm a poet and a novelist, and I live in the Princeton area. I also teach at the Arts Council of Princeton. I'm thrilled to be here today as one of the featured authors at the local Author Day at the Princeton Public Library. I'm here to tell you a little bit about my book, Call Me Athena, Girl from Detroit. It is a young adult historical novel in verse, and it's written for a teenage audience but also very fun for adults to read. It is written as a novel, so you read it from front to back, but it's also written in poetry. And this is a form that is very popular in the middle grade and YA worlds, but a lot of adults have never read a novel in verse. And so I would encourage adults to not feel scared of the poetry. This book is very near and dear to my heart because it is the story of, it's based on the story of my grandmother, Mary Scandalaris, who was the daughter of Greek and French immigrants in Detroit, Michigan in the 1930s. In the book, Mary's character struggles to find her way as a modern American woman while clashing with her parents over issues of arranged marriage and learning to grow beyond her own culture. It's written from her perspective, but it also has flashbacks to her parents' life when they were 16 in Greece and France at the end of World War I. It is written from these three profoundly different narrators, but it's really about the courage that it takes to honor heritage and tradition while forging a new future in a new land. And even though it's a historical novel, I think that the themes that are present within the book, identity, freedom, equality, feminism, and most importantly, hope, I hope that they will resonate with readers today. I wrote this book after my grandmother had struggled for years and years with Alzheimer's. She was a wonderful storyteller. She was funny and lively and smart. And she loved to tell stories about her life in Detroit, Michigan during the Depression, about the Ford factory where her father worked, and also about the stories of the poverty that her parents lived through. And I grew up listening to her at her feet, and I believed that writing this book was the best way to honor her. I want to share a few reviews of this book that I have been thrilled to get. The Kirkus Review said that it was a strong debut written with heart and strength. And the American Booksellers Association, which chose it as an Indie Next pick, says this story of an immigrant girl growing up in Detroit in the 1930s hits every mark. Woven into the story are her parents' histories and all of the love and loss the family has faced. It will tug at your heartstrings. And I want to share a few poems in the book, and I really just want to drop you down in this scene where Mary is about to be introduced to the man that she's going to marry, named Demetrius. He is a member of her very traditional Greek community, and he's much older than she is. She's 16 and he's in his late 40s. Mother slices the cake. Father pours sour cherry liqueur into small glasses. Mary made this herself, he says, and pats my arm with pride. Demetrius takes a sip and smiles politely. They leave us alone in the parlor. Golden icons of Mary and baby Jesus look down at me from high on the shelves. Demetrius scoots next to me. The side of his body is touching mine. You are a beautiful young girl, he says, as he takes a lock of my hair and twists it around his finger. His breath smells like death and onions. Who is this wicked old man? He wants a child. I want to grow the claws and wings of a gorgon, feed his eyes to the hungry creatures that live in the depths of the swamp, turn him into stone. When I was 12, my mother and I embroidered a soft white gown, 2 sheets and 2 pillowcases, every single piece decorated with pink and yellow flowers. We fold them carefully into my cedar dowry chest. I imagined with each stitch how excited I would be to wear a nightgown in front of a man for the first time. I know I have sewn the bed that I must lie in. These linens will be my prison. Thank you so much, and feel free to keep in touch. You can find me on Instagram or on Twitter at Colby Cedar on Twitter and at Colby_Cedar_Smith on Instagram. Thanks, and take care.